Sasquatch Region leads the top 25 in the WRL for a second week in a row. The AFC dominated the NFC in the first crossover conference games of the year in the APFL, and the last general manager taking the GM draft is now the number one team on the rookie watch. All of this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast, sponsored by Sport Management Solutions, your one-stop shop for all your athletic communication needs. So I first want to apologize for not doing the show on our regularly scheduled night of Wednesday night. Last night, we were having a lot of fun with the kids last night with the AU baseball team, and I wanted to make sure that they got their due diligence and all of their bats and hits and batting practice in. So I stayed out there with the kids last night versus coming home. I figure we'll do this tonight, even though it doesn't really feel like a week 3 recap, because week 4 is starting tonight. In fact, I think it probably started about 15 minutes ago. Anybody got a score update for me? Trevor out there with us. Trevor, how are you? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, let me know if there's a scoring update up there, because as soon as this game is over, I'm going to turn on the projector in the bedroom and watch the game. So good show for you tonight as far as graphics go. At least I think 3-0 Dallas. I'd appreciate it. Oh, man, that means at least got some points out of the kicker somewhere. Good show for you tonight as far as graphics go. We got our screens working great this week. I think we finally figured out what the magic touch was, or the solution was to get them working. I appreciate DJ for helping me out with that. But, hey, let's go through these redraft games of the week by regions. Going to do this graphic just slightly different this week. So we're going to start off with the Phoenix. In the Phoenix region, the margin of victory game of the week was between the Mexican Midgets and the Koalas. Midgets getting that win, 129-125. Got a couple games for you in the Cerberus region. First was the number 6 Sin City Kitties against the number 21 Naughty Dogs. Kitties get that win, 144-105. The number 16 Monarchs knocked off the number 23 Gridiron Grinders. Final score there was 139-106. And the number 23 Bearcats got the better of the number 25 Horny Toads. Final score there was 163-136. In the Sasquatch region, this featured the game of the week between the number 4 Land Sharks and the number 7 Peach State Who Daddies. The better seeded Land Sharks got the win and put up the most points in all of the WRL this week. Final score there was 209-174. And then they also featured the margin of victory game of the week in that region this week, as Garbage Points defeated the Mermen 130.74 to 129.34 for a margin of victory of 1.4 points. Giants are up 3-0. Okay. Somebody got that wrong. Trevor said, yes, 3-0. Okay. So does anybody have the Giants kicker? Let me know. That's it for the Sasquatch region. Let's go to the Banshees region. The Banshees region, the number 3 Jackets handed the number 12 Lady Spartans their very first loss of the year. Final score there was 158-134. And then the Dragons region had 2 games to highlight. Game 1 was between the 11-seeded Virginia Blackbeards and the number 18 Mantis Mayhem. Blackbeards got the win there, 190-136. And then the last game to highlight in all of the WRL this week was the game between the number 20 and number 21 teams. The number 21 ranked Lone Rangers grabbed the win over the number 20 Carolina Nation. Final score there was 158-119. And this is the only top 25 game in which the worst seeded team actually got the win this week. All right, so what you all want to see, let's get you to these power rankings. Let's pull those up for you. There we go, power rankings. So power rankings for week 3, Sasquatch region. Stay at the top for a second week in a row, except for this time the Land Sharks slide into the number 1 spot. Damien out there with us. Damien, how are you? Hopefully this doesn't throw everybody off coming here on a Thursday night versus a Wednesday night. We don't have to make this a regular thing. I know it was a suggestion by somebody, but we are going to be able to shift the baseball practices to Thursday in the month of October. So we're going to stay right here on Wednesday for our normal show. Number 8 is probably looking pretty good for you. I'm sure you like that there. So Land Sharks in the number 1 spot. We had 4 new teams reach the top 25 this week. They are the Scorpions at 20, Turd Ferguson at 21, Groot at 23, and the Rochester Rabbits at 24. Number by region, how many teams we've got from each region in the top 25. Phoenix have 7, Cerberus have 5, the Sasquatch and the Banshees each have 4, and then the Dragons have 5. Yeah, Phoenix region not looking too bad. 7 up there is not bad at all. It means you guys are going to have a long battle, I think, at the playoffs towards the end of the year if you got that many teams at 500 and above. Don't forget the power rankings are now on the MFL site. Just make sure you go to I guess it's the 3rd horizontal menu. It'll say power rankings. Click on that and it'll pop up. It's got the Excel document in there. One of the things that I added this week, and it helps me with the calculation as well, because with us doing the GM draft and everybody in different regions from what I'm used to, I added the region as one of the columns that are on the power rankings now, so you can see what region that belongs to. Helps me out as I'm going through as well, trying to put the numbers next to your all's names after the fact and all the numbers are done. So we mentioned at the top of the show about the rookie watch. So graphic from last week, we said that we were going to jazz it up a little bit. Last week's graphic, also the last time you're going to see this, it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to look a little bit closer to something like this. Rookie watch, we got 7 rookies this year. Sean Smith and the Lone Rangers sit at the top of that list right now as the only undefeated team. What makes this even more awesome is he was the last general manager taken in the GM draft. And not only is he in the number 1 spot by record in the rookie watch right now, he is also number 14 in the power rankings. So got a little something new for you this week. Let's trying something out as we go into the WRL Week 4 previews. Try to pull out what would be some of the better games in each one of the regions based on top 25 teams. The very first one out of the chute, though, is actually a top 10 game of the week. It's coming out of the Banshees region. It's the number 2 Jackets versus the number 4 Melon Hawks. As of when I did this yesterday, and I think I completed this art at about noon, the Melon Hawks were favored by 4.2 points. You'll see the favor down in the left-hand corner. And then the rest of these games are top 25 matchups. In the Phoenix region, we have the first of 2 top 25 matchups. It's number 3 Louisville Sluggers versus number 11 Maniacs. Sluggers currently favored by 4.1. And in the second matchup, we have the number 8 Mad Scientist versus the number 22 Panda Skins. Mad Scientist favored by 20.3 points. We've got also 2 top. Oh, I'm sorry. There's the Mad Scientist. Forgot to switch you over, Damien. There you go. You are favored by 20.3 points. In the Cerberus region, we also have 2 top 25 matchups. It's the number 7 Sin City Kitties versus the Bearcats. Bearcats currently favored by 1.7 points. And then I guess there's just a 1 in the – nope, there we go. Man, it's crazy when I'm watching the preview before it actually happens. Got me confused. Here's the second game in the top 25 matchup in the Cerberus region. We have the number 23 Groot versus the number 24 Rochester Rabbits. Group right now favored by 6.3. And then now we move on to the Sasquatch region, where we have just one top 25 matchup. It's the number 12 Peach State Who Daddies versus the number 16 Epidemic Elephants. Who Daddies favored by 11 currently. And then in our final top 25 matchup, it comes out of the Dragons region. We have the number 5 Virginia Blackbeards and the Dragons regions face off against regional foe Turd Ferguson, who is seated 21st. Turd currently favored by 2.9 points. Yeah, hopefully you guys do cover 20.3. Even in fantasy is quite a bit. I don't know, after last week's games, though, I guess it was. Maybe not so much this week, but after last week's games, the big margin of victories, maybe 20 won't be so hard to for you to be able to cover. So we only have one APFL game of the week to mention. But before we get there, We mentioned at the top of the show the domination by the AFC over the NFC. DJ out there saying go Blackbeards for him. Congratulations on that number 5 spot. Wanted to, this more of a rib or a murk. The AFC completely dominated the NFC this week in our first conference crossover of the year in the APFL. Out of the 16 games being played, AFC won 11 of them this week. But one of the games that the AFC did not win was between the Green Bay Cheeseheads and the Tennessee Spartans. I believe coming into this week, the Spartans were number 1 on the AFC side in the playoffs, and the Cheeseheads were number 2. Damian says there can be only one true king in the NFC. Well, you guys did end up having a great game. It was also the margin of victory game. Put together a little graphic for you just because I knew you would like it. So the Cheeseheads did get the win. Final score. You know what? You guys can only see that if I push this button right here. Hopefully you were able to see all of those other ones that I did. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if I had them up for you or not. Yeah, I think so. Cheeseheads end up getting the win, 99.42 to 97.88 margin of victory for that game, just 1.54 points. So that takes us to who's left undefeated. In the APFL, we're down to just 5 teams, 3 on the AFC side and 2 on the NFC side. It's hard to tell because you only see 4 of them that look like they're actually in color, but don't forget the Raiders that is their colors. So that gray that you see up there is their actual true colors, and they are still left undefeated for the year as well. I'm glad you like that. You know what? Let's go back. Let's take another look at it because I like it too. It turned out pretty good. If you only knew that it took me probably about 36 images to get something that close, I won't tell you that part though. All right, so the new feature that we've put on here, instead of doing the top 10 in the power rankings for the APFL, what we have done is started to put this playoff bracket together. So if we were to go to the playoffs this week, this is how everybody would be seated in the AFC on the left, NFC on the right. Once again, another fun week of trying to put these together. If I did not have Toby doing these with me every week, they would be wrong or not getting posted. As you all know, this is the NFL Emulation League, so we use the NFL tiebreakers. And since we're still early in the season and a lot of people have the same record, this is really a big pain in the butt to figure out who should be seated where. But with 2 brains combined, we get it right, or I should say a brain and a half, because Toby really is the brain in all of this. We get it right. So that's what we're at going into week 4. If we were to go to the playoffs right now in week 3, that's where the top 7 teams in each one of the conference would be playing at. Upcoming APFL games. So I don't have a graphic for you. Reason being is if you guys look across the landscape of the APFL this week, doesn't have a lot of close games or anything that is really rank worthy. Like we've got 2 top 2 teams in a division or something like that. We are back in the division play this week. So nothing real fancy out there for this week to include anybody playing inside this playoff right now, or anybody that is really maybe knocking on somebody's door to take over first place spot. Yep, still 3 NFC North teams. We've got Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit still in there. All 3 of those NFC North teams in there. But we are back to division play this week. Yeah, no real games to highlight from the APFL. But what we do have is highlights from the F3L, because we said that we were going to start showing them some love. So I got 2 games to share with you out of the F3L this week. So highest scoring team this week was the Atlanta Flames. They end up beating the Washington Redskins. Final score there was 540 to 405. And then in the margin of victory game of the week, the Nebraska Bug Eaters defeated the Oakland Seniors. Final score there was 458 to 452. All right, so we're at the part now where we go through this week's primetime schedule for the NFL. Is that what happened this week? Are you guys playing against each other? I think the reason I'm not picking it, what's the spread right now for that game? I think at least for the last lineup that I had, you had a pretty good hold on that. So I think that's probably why I decided not to pull it up. I know once we get past this week, probably we'll have better games to put up there for previews for going into week 5. But anyways, primetime games, a lot versus little, which is probably why I didn't pick it and put it up there. Primetime games, first one's already started. Thursday night football, we got Dallas at the New York Giants. I think the last update that we got, Giants were up 3-0. The spread is Dallas by 5.5. I don't think the Giants can do anything good this year. You know what this means. I'm going to throw the Dallas hat on. That's our pick for Thursday night football. Get a chance to go in and watch it right away after this. Sunday night football, we got Buffalo at Baltimore, which should be a great game. Baltimore favored by 2.5. I feel like that's more of a home field advantage, but I believe Baltimore has more weapons now with Buffalo giving up as many wide receivers as they did in the offseason. So I'm going to pick Baltimore in that one. And then is it really Dallas up this time, 7-3? And who scored the touchdown? And then we get a treat. We get 2 Monday night football games again this week. So first game starts at 7:30. It's going to be Tennessee at Miami. Miami's favored by 1, picking Miami. And then Seattle at Detroit at 8:15. Detroit favored by 3.5, taking Detroit in that one as well. And that is it on the football side. I did want to give a midweek baseball update. We have played one more day because we played last night. So we're able to get Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's scores in there. I'm not going to do a partial week update. I can just tell you right now that it is close. I think the last time I looked, the 2 teams are within 2 points of each other right now. However, it does look like San Francisco Giants, according to Yahoo, is going to run away with this by about 60 or 70 points. So they are going to put up quite a few points over these last 4 days and probably take out the Cincinnati Reds. It's all about whoever had Mitch. So Brent joining us, the owner, the master himself of Sport Management Solutions. So I will say this, I had Mitch for the best part of the season. I think of the times that I had him, he maybe got me negative points one night. Tried to hold on to him for as many times as I could. Earlier in the season, I would be able to drop him and add him at will because nobody knew who he was. He wasn't owned by a whole lot of people either. So this last time, trying to do the best I can to get out of the semifinal round, I dropped Mitch. And I'll pick him up in 2 days when he becomes available again. And daggone it, if Gerard didn't pick him up instead, but Gerard started him, and when he pitched the other night, was it last night or night before last? And he actually ended up getting Gerard negative points. So good on me, at least for not grabbing Mitch for that last game. And I think, Brent, tell me if I'm wrong, he was the starting pitcher for the last game that's going to be played in the Coliseum, or whatever they call the field over there, going off of Oakland nicknames. I think that was going to be the last game that's being played there, and he got to be the starting pitcher for it. So that's pretty cool. If what you were sending me in pictures earlier is correct, you have an autographed jersey coming from him, I believe, as well. So you can geek out over that whenever it comes. He got to start in the first game of the series. Okay. Still very cool. I don't know what the plans are. Somebody else in here would probably tell me. I don't know if Sean's in here tonight. What's going on with Oakland? Where are they playing next year? Is there a new stadium coming? Are they staying in Oakland? What's the deal? Because I don't even know what the update is right now. But that's it. I wanted to make sure we got the baseball highlight in there. I wanted to keep this short because I want to get in and start watching Thursday night football. We will be back at a minimum next Wednesday, the 2nd of October, because I believe that we will be able to shift over and practice on Thursday night next week. I will make sure that I reserve the fields. Gerard, if you're out there watching, it's coming. Sacramento for 3 years and then to Vegas. Okay, very cool. Where at in Sacramento, though? What field are they playing on? Is it going to be like a AAA field or something? And then hopefully we'll be back on Sunday for the 3rd installment of Into the Third Quarter. I know I missed last week. I do want to keep that as a regular thing, so I will be back on Sunday to do End of the Third Quarter, and then we will definitely be back next Wednesday on the 2nd for the Fanatically broadcast, this show right here. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for coming out for the second night in a row. If you were on here chatting it up last night, I think it was MJ, Trevor, and Bruce were on here. Appreciate you all being there talking. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Brent's on with us right now. Sport Management Solutions, your one-stop shop for all your athletic communication needs. Nature Coast Apparel, the official apparel of the FSA. The Recast, the official music of the FSA. And then Brandon Gums tried to call me earlier tonight. Brandon, I don't know if you're out there watching this right now or not. Thank you for helping us put the website together. If you still have not seen the website, go over to iplayfsa.com, iplayfsa.com, and check it out. And we will see you all next week. Hit me up on Discord as we watch Thursday Night Football, and you guys enjoy your evening.